Hi guys, it's Jimmy here from the UEP Files. Now I'm often asked what the best camera is to take UFO footage and imagery, or what the best settings are to put on your phone. And in all honesty, I don't really know the answer to that question because I don't really go out that much to try and capture it. I'm sent so much footage from other people that I don't really have the time to go and do that because I'm constantly looking through the new submissions and editing things and trying to put them out in a digestible format that people will enjoy. However, I was sent last year a smart telescope from Dwarf Lab. This is a Dwarf 3 smart telescope, and this pretty cool device will track objects in the sky, zoom in, and it will pick stuff up and it will save it in HD. I used the telescope in order to capture some footage for that review video, which you can check out here, and then I put it aside and I was planning on going out and using it more often. However, life just gets in the way, and then when you do have a bit of time, it's cloudy. So it's kind of sat on my shelf for a while. So tonight I'm going to use it. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to record a load of footage. I'm going to pick a spot in the sky and I'm going to show you what I catch. Now on top of that, lots of people send me footage from just everyday photography cameras, some decent quality cameras, but with the right settings you can capture some really good imagery in the sky. So dark skies, and play around with the settings, which I'm going to do today. Now up until very recently I didn't have a good quality photography camera. However, that's changed. I recently bought this, which is the Sony A7iii. Now I got this because I wanted to do some in-person interviews, and I can't really do that with the webcam that I use for podcasts. I can't really do that with a mobile phone, so I had to get something professional. Now I've got a big rig which looks ridiculous, but it sort of does the job for what I need for being out and about, jumping straight into an interview and setting up. Also looking professional, but managing to capture 4K footage. So I thought I'd go out tonight, I'd put the telescope up, I'd also put this camera up, and I'll see what I can capture with 30 minutes to an hour's worth of footage. And that's what this video is about. Okay, I've just brought the camera in for a second because I have actually caught something. It's kind of cool. I'm going to talk you through it and I'll replay it and I'll slow it down and I'll zoom in. But I wasn't expecting that. It's weird. All right, let me show you. Okay, so we'll start off with the Stellarium app. Now this one is a really cool app to get. If you haven't already, just get hold of it. This is what I'm looking at the time that I'm filming with the telescope and the Sony A7iii. We can just about see the Orion constellation. We can see Jupiter just top right hand corner, Mars over there, and I think just there's Uranus. There you go, I always giggle when I say that word. So this gives us an idea of what we're seeing in the sky. Obviously it's not as clear as that, but that's roughly where these guys are hanging out. So if we see anything, then it might be related, possibly. We'll start off with the Dwarf 3 smart telescope. The issue with the Dwarf 3 is you've got to pick a very small area of the sky and focus in on that because it's got, you know, incredible zoom and it's really good at what it does with the tracking and stuff, and we'll see the movement now as it tracks. Fast forward it a little bit through the footage. Which is what we're looking at now. The movement is all the tracking. But unfortunately, I'll be honest, this night we didn't catch anything at all. There was nothing that sort of shot past that small area that we were trying to film. So we'll move on to the Sony A7iii, where we had much more luck. Now we can see a much broader space in the sky because we zoomed right out. So we're going to pick up lights in the sky. We're not going to get real close in to the objects, but it will give us an idea of what I'm seeing from the ground and capture any interesting movements. That was our first there, circled, a white pulse of light, and I'll replay that a few times just so you can see it. It was only one pulse, but I'm replaying it. I found that interesting. A white pulse of light. Again, it could be a satellite, it could be iridium flares, it could be geospatial satellites, Starlink satellites, meteor, space debris, could be all sorts of different things. But this is where we're looking. Could be related to something in the Orion constellation. We'll come to that in a bit. We'll do some overlays and we'll do some analysis. Now we'll see an aeroplane coming through the sky, and we'll slow it down here back to normal speed and check out this area here and see what you can see. Just as the aeroplane comes to these two stars, goes between these two stars, you'll see something to the left. You see that? There's a few things that happen there, so we'll replay that a bit closer in. You'll see a red pulse of light, first of all, and then another couple simultaneous lights of different colours. You see that? Red pulse of light. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Replay that again. It was a single red pulse, but I've replayed it a few times, and we'll change the change the contrast and we'll zoom in a bit and see what we can see. But you kind of understand the white, you know, it's reflecting the sunlight, a solar panel off a satellite maybe. We hear a lot about Starlink flares. Debunkers love a good Starlink flare, but now those two in the middle flashing simultaneously. Now that is interesting. Different colours, white and blue. And there's the aeroplane there on the right. And we'll zoom in a little bit on these two lights, a white and a blue. Very interested in the blue light, not so much the white, although it's interesting, but the blue light is unusual. Change the contrast a little bit again. Now what could that be? I don't know about the red light. The blue light could have an explanation, especially if we're looking at Orion constellation, because ASIiii, which is it's a supergiant, a blue supergiant in Orion constellation. Could be. I mean, it's fairly close to where we were looking. We'll do an overlay in a minute and see if. Look at that blue. Obviously, this is the best we could get from the A7iii and the lens that we had. So it's just going to be a light in the sky here. But yeah, really interesting. Okay, so we'll see that aircraft come again. I think we're going to see another, if I remember rightly, just as I watch the footage on the left of the screen, we'll see another unusual pulse of white light. And then we'll see the two just to the left of the aeroplane and then the red. Quick replay. Here's the red. Look at that. Again, this only pulsed once, but I've just slowed it down and replayed a couple of times. Look at that red. What could that be? Interesting. Okay, and just to the bottom left of the screen now, you're going to see a little flash, a little pulse of light there. White. I'll replay that again. Interesting, eh? So lots of activity when this aircraft goes past, and like I say, it could be a satellite, you know, it could be, there's a few different things that it could be, and I'm less interested in the single white flashes of light. It's definitely not an aeroplane, let's face it. One pulse and that's it. Unlikely. More likely to be a glimmering or a reflection of the sun from one of these metallic objects in the sky. So it could be a satellite. So using Stellarium, we know where we're looking in the sky. We can use Satellite Tracker by Starwalk, which is a really cool app. Both of them are free to use. Obviously, they've got paid bits and pieces if you want to get really extreme into them. Flight Trader 24 is also really good. ADS-B is also really good, where you can see what aircrafts are in the sky. You can zoom in and out. You can click on the aircraft and see where it's come from, where it's going to, and what kind of aircraft it is. So this example is over somewhere near London, St Albans, Reading. But yeah, just as an example, really cool bit of free software that you can use on a computer on your phone. Always worth downloading and seeing what's in the sky. Trying to assign a conventional explanation to it if you can, so that you know what is truly anomalous. So we'll overlay this here. We know the Orion constellation. ASIiii there, blue, and that's a star to the left. Nothing obvious next to that star where the red light would have been. So we could probably say blue being a supergiant, a blue supergiant, would make some sense in the Orion constellation. But no obvious of the 5 observables: anti-gravity, instantaneous acceleration, hypersonic velocity, cloaking, maybe, transmedium travel, no. So, yeah, the red is really interesting. Blue, less so, because that's got a conventional explanation, potentially. But the red single pulse, nothing obvious in the sky. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the description, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.